It's that time again. Do you know, I really don't feel like telling you about the weather. It is dreadful and has been for the entire weekend. 18°C at the moment, which is 64 Fahrenheit. That's not too bad, I suppose. 93% humidity, 10-11 millibars on the barometer. It has been raining non-stop. Where are we now? It's now Tuesday. You'll be hearing this tomorrow on Wednesday. It's been raining. When did it start? Friday? More or less over the entire weekend. Rain, 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 and wind. Our runner beans, our plants, they've been battered around by this wind. But there we are. What can we do? That's the British summer. There's no point in moaning. But I will. Do you remember I was chatting about if you're mowing the lawn, someone will come along, a neighbour, and they'll say, oh, you're mowing your lawn. No, I'm cleaning the car. Well, several of you have emailed me about that and said more or less the same thing. It's a polite way of striking up a conversation. Oh, you're cleaning the windows. Then you're supposed to say, yes, that's right. How are you doing? I'm fine. Yes, thanks. It got out of hand back in the old days. I remember in the TV workshop, someone's repairing a television. Someone would come along and say, oh, you're repairing a television. No, I'm fixing this transistor radio. I think it's some kind of weird British thing. I don't know where it came from exactly, but I'm not being rude, when I say about neighbours coming along, oh, you're mowing the lawn. No, I'm not. I'm painting the house. I'm not being rude about people that do that sort of thing. It is a way of striking up a conversation. I know that, a polite way. It's just that it was over the top at one stage. It happened all the time, every day. It drove people round the bend. A lot of you liked my walkabout, as they call it, a walkabout at Pulborough Brooks. That's good. Glad you enjoyed that. It was lovely there, as many of you have said. Sounds very peaceful and tranquil. It was lovely. Only bumped into that one person that said morning, and I had to say good morning back. I do try to be polite to people. But yes, I really enjoyed that. It was a nice walkabout. We were hoping this weekend to get out and about. Last weekend I'm talking about, not this one coming up. Hopefully the weather is going to improve in the second half of July. I wonder what it's like where you are. Thanks for the weather reports that you have sent in from around the world. That's interesting. So keep your emails coming, raiserants@protonmail.com. Talking of the old days and the things people said, we had a chap in the workshop. He was always saying, or what? So are you going to the pub tonight, or what? Are you going over the road for lunch, or what? Every sentence ended, or as every question type sentence ended with or what? And it was quite funny because people were walking around the workshop saying, do you want a cup of coffee or what? What is or what? I'm putting the kettle on. Do you want tea or what? That got totally out of hand. It really did get totally out of hand because the boss, he started saying it. He picked up on it. So he was coming into the workshop and saying, right, we've got to get these tellies fixed here. Can you do that one or what? It was quite funny at the time. Also, back in the 60s, there were various sayings. You probably heard them all. Wind your neck in. There was this chap, Derek. Whatever I asked him, any question, wind your neck in, or who wants to know? He was known as Wind Your Neck In. Have you seen Wind Your Neck In? Yes, he's over by the coffee machine. Strange times, fantastic times, but strange when I look back. Thanks also for your emails about my walkie-talkie radio that you heard a little clip of at Pulborough Brooks. Why I've got a radio, what's it all about, what does it do, what's it for? I take a radio with me because wherever you go these days, you see people with little walkie-talkies, whether it's a seafront fair or a museum, some outside event. People have got these little radios that they chat to each other on, and I like to listen in to see what's going on. In fact, I shouldn't say this really, we were at Amberley Museum a few weeks ago, and they were late opening the gate. The gate should open at 10 o'clock. There's a queue growing, getting longer and longer. People are looking at their watches, what's going on. So I got on the radio and said, can someone come and open the gate? I should have added, or what? No one answered, but within minutes, someone came and opened the gate and let everyone in. So they did hear me. Thanks also for your comments about the website, raiserants.info. The photos there. People have seen the garden and Pulborough Brooks and various other things I've put there. So I'm glad that's of interest to people, or some of you at least. I'm now thinking about this coming Sunday. What shall we chat about? I say this every Wednesday, don't I? What shall we talk about on Sunday? Then I get loads of emails with loads of suggestions, which is good. That's what I like. Ray, nice to hear from you. I was talking about when I was at Pulborough Brooks, I recorded a bird and I said, what's that? Anyone know what bird that is? Ray got back to me. It's a chiff-chaff. There's a good name for a bird, chiff-chaff. And it's called that because that's what its call sounds like. Chiff-chaff, chiff-chaff. Well, I can't do it, can I? But something like that anyway. Thanks, Ray. Amy, early morning walk, best time of the day. I agree totally, entirely, utterly, and all the other lees. Perfect time of day. The other morning I was out in the garden at 5:30. Sunshine, couldn't believe it. Make the most of it. Went down to my little hideaway. You've probably seen my hideaway with me in there on the photos page. Took the recorder with me, started to chat to you while I was having my cup of tea, and the rain came down. Now there is a roof on that little pergola. Is it pergola or pergola or whatever it is, that wooden thing? There is a roof, a corrugated plastic roof, and of course the rain is battering on this roof. I was dry, but I couldn't hear myself think. That's an odd expression, isn't it? You don't hear yourself think, do you? I found a chiff-chaff song online. Hang on, let me see if I can play it for you. That's it, brilliant. Thanks, Ray, for that. I've learned something else. I know a blackbird. I know what seagulls sound like, of course. They remind me at 3 o'clock in the morning, well, all through the night. Pigeons, crooks. Not crooks, crooks. Oh, no, I meant to say crows and rooks, I meant to say. I'm talking about crooks. Sorry, I'm not talking about the government. Oh, I shouldn't have said that, should I? Oh, now what's going on? Everything's going mad here. I love birds, the sound of birds, especially the dawn chorus in the morning, but I do have a job not differentiating between them, knowing what's what. I know a robin and a blackbird. We've got great tits. They're lovely. They're in the garden all the time. We've got a pair of them. I don't know where they're nesting. Their call or song is very distinctive, so I do know that one. I watched Out of Town last night with Jack Hargreaves. That takes me back to the good old days. That was the 1970s, I believe. He went, what did he call it? Minnow dipping. So you've got a pretend minnow, a little fish on a line, and you just dip it in the water. It's got a fish hook on it, of course, and you catch trout that are right under the bushes or right in the weeds. You just drop this little minnow thing in and catch trout. No casting, none of that, no reeling in, and you just hook them out. That was quite interesting. Another thing, which I don't like killing things, even fish. Another thing, listen to this. Pigeons, apparently back then, they probably still are, were looked upon as vermin, pests. So they had to get rid of a lot of them. And what they did out in the countryside, they had a machine, a sort of wire thing, with a bit of fishing line so you could go and hide in the bushes, and you put a dead pigeon on this thing, fix its wings to these bits of metal. Then when you're hiding in the bushes, you keep pulling on the fishing line and the wings flap. It was horrible, really, this dead pigeon. Poor thing, I thought, but there again, he was dead, so he didn't know. And then other pigeons up in the sky, they see this and they think, oh, look, a new feeding place. So they all flock round and they get shot. So it's not very, I don't like that. I love Out of Town, I love the countryside, but of course it does involve killing things, doesn't it, which I don't like. I'm just looking out of the window. Do you know, there is no wind, there's no sun, but there's no rain. Everything is very still. Is this the calm before the storm, as they call it? I don't know, I hope not. There's not a drop of wind. No, that's not right, is it? Not a drop of rain or a breath of wind or a breath of rain. Happy days. Oh, ha-ha-ing again. I'm not meant to do that. I said I wouldn't do that again. I'm going to leave you in peace and go and have a look at the garden, if there's anything left after the torrential rain and gale force winds we've had. I shall see you on Sunday. Behave yourselves, be good, be bad, don't get caught. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye for now. Ha-ha.